everyone, for my Google Maps project, I'm going to go ahead and be showing you a few of my favorite places to go hiking here in Southern California. Um, I've been to every one of these spots. Some are better than others, but overall they're really great hiking spots. Some are great for beginners, some are a little more advanced. So we're going to go ahead and start with the one that's furthest from me, which is the Fullerton Loop. What's really neat about the Fullerton Loop is that it starts off as a really flat trail, so super easy walking, and then it loops through different kind of parts of the city. So at one point you might be on the sidewalk, and then you go into, this really steep trail, and then you could turn down and be back in a beautiful residential neighborhood. And then before you know it, again, you're like in a secluded park. So it's great because it's really a little bit of everything. It's not, too off the beaten path or too much, just walking through a neighborhood. It's a little bit of everything, and I really like that. The only drawback of this trail is that you do get a ton of mountain bikers, which is a little dangerous because they come down hills really quickly and you kind of have to dodge out of the way sometimes. So if you hike with headphones on, it's a little precarious. I have almost been hit by a rogue mountain biker, so be careful, but I don't want to discourage you from going. It's really, really great. Here's a picture of me and one of my dogs in kind of a more flat part of the trail. See how it's kind of long and wide right behind over my shoulder. Really, really empty in the morning. This part in particular is called Coyote Hills, which I think is funny because I think my dog kind of looks like a coyote German Shepherd hybrid. Okay, for our next stop, we're going to go here from Fullerton to Carbon Canyon. This is a really great hike, but it is really not for a beginner. The first time I did this, I almost died. Well, I blame my dad. He said we were going for a short walk, and it was a 13-mile hike. So false advertising on his part. But a really beautiful place, very much quiet, great for wildlife sightings. We've seen deer and hawks and coyotes and just amazing animals that just don't see too many foot traffic or people coming through there, so they're really just everything's out and about. It's beautiful. Here's what one of the vistas from the park looks like. As you can see, a lot of green, and it gets really lush, especially after we have a lot of heavy rains. Right now it's kind of dried out, and it's fire season, so it's a little maybe not the best time to go hiking there, but really totally picturesque. Lots of tall trees. This is me. I went with my dad on a sunrise hike at this state park, and it was beautiful. The sun was just coming up, and we were totally alone. You could just hear birds chirping, and really picturesque of watching the sunrise over the hills. Really recommend to go early in the morning. For our third stop, we're going to head over here to the Claremont Wilderness Park, and this is where we like to do the 5-mile Claremont Loop. This is super close to La Verne, so if you live by the college, this is a great place to come check out. The great thing about the Claremont Loop is that it's really super dog friendly. I love to bring my dogs here to come hiking. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so here's what it looks like. You have great views of the city. And let's show you some photos people have taken. Yeah, look at it's always green almost all year around, which is a really cool feature. A lot of other places aren't really like that, but Claremont tends to be really green. Great views, great vistas. This tree arch is really cool in person. Also, another really neat thing is because it is a loop, you can meet up with other trails and really extend your hike. I have done this multiple times accidentally. If you head the wrong way, your hike can go from 5 miles to a little closer to 10. So really make sure to know where you're going, stick to your trails, know your map routes. But it's really beautiful to go all year round. Also, it's a really good workout because the incline tends to be a little steeper than some of the other trails I've done because it is a lot of hillside, so you get a great workout in and some really nice views as well. This is actually a photo I took the last time I hiked the Claremont Loop, which was maybe earlier this year, probably around like April or May, and it was still really green. And as you can see, this trail obviously goes up pretty steep and completely empty. Had the whole place to myself. It was really nice. As I mentioned, it is really easy to take the wrong trailhead. And here's my brother and I celebrating after we found our way back to the main hiking trail after maybe a half-hour detour of walking the wrong direction. But if you're going to walk somewhere the wrong way, this is definitely a beautiful place to do it. Okay, and for our last stop, we're going to go here from Claremont all the way to the hills of Pasadena to the Eden Canyon Falls Trail. And this is a really great trail, fun to bring people from out of town, especially if they get a kick out of this place. I will say, out of all of the places I mentioned, Fullerton, Carbon Canyon and Brea, Claremont, Pasadena tends to be the place that is always full. Doesn't matter if it's, 6 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock in the afternoon, there will always be people here. It tends to be really full. But if you don't mind a little bit of extra foot traffic, it does have some really, really scenic spots. Okay, as you can see here on the map, Eden is a pretty short trail, and opposed to the other ones which tend to loop back on themselves, it is a one-way. So you head up one way and then you hike right back down. I would say altogether it's probably maybe 2.5 miles. Really, really short. Really doable. If you have issues climbing over some minor rocks or boulders, this might not be the trail for you. It's not really flat at all. You do go steadily up for a while, and you do have to climb some rocks, and depending on how full or how high the water level is, you will have to jump over some creeks or walk through some water. So if that's a deal breaker for you, maybe this isn't the place. But it is, I think that it's really worth the trip. Once you're done hiking over those rocks and water creeks, this is what you end up with most of the year. A really nice waterfall. Depending on how much rain we're getting, the waterfall can be really a heavy stream or it can be just a light trickle. I would say this is about maybe medium. It's halfway between those two. Right now we haven't had rain in months, so it's going to be pretty dry. But if we've had a good shower, this water here could be literally up to your waist, and it's icy cold because it's coming straight down from the mountains. So if you bring your dog with you, or if it's a really hot day, this can be really refreshing. Your dog will want to swim in it. I know mine definitely did. But what this photo doesn't show you is that there's usually about 20 people sitting around here, on rocks and overturned logs, because like I said, it's never empty. The last time I was there was actually a tour bus of people getting off to go hike this little trail. Just so you can have a reference, here's my brother and I in September. Just look how little water's coming down. Just a little sprinkle, a little dribble. But it was really worth it. And I know this day there weren't that many people here. But also it's because it's not that impressive to hike to a waterfall that has no water falling. So maybe in the springtime, after a little bit of a rain shower, that would be the perfect time to go to Eden. I hope you enjoyed my little tour, and thanks for watching.